world, the notorious pink tax takes on a more serious title known as the tampon tax. This is a sales tax on feminine menstrual products. The problem arises from the fact that the purchase of and use of these products are a necessity for women. Therefore, taxing them as if they were prepackaged chicken or something, and that's a necessity, is unfair and wrong. An article by Joreen Wee explains it is estimated that women spend over $18,000 on menstrual-related products during their lifetime. This is money that only women are required to spend. Feminine menstrual products should be excluded from the sales tax. America's taxing system is broken and either needs to have a revision to determine whether necessities or medical aspects are considered luxuries, or it needs to stop taxing women for something that they can't control. The pink tax appears only in the tax home itself, but also among the various contraceptives for men and women. For women, according to Cecilia Richards, birth control is a basic and essential health care. But the cost makes birth control difficult to obtain and expensive enough to create an unnecessary barrier for women of lower or higher incomes. Unlike the common male contraceptive, condoms, women are unable to just walk into any healthcare facility and are to be given a handout. While there are many programs like Medicaid and Planned Parenthood that provide a significant amount of help for lower income women, higher income women may not qualify for these programs and are required to pay for the contraceptives full price. Other than the cost, politicians with extreme views have been trying to cut fundings for family planning services. The cutting of these essential programs by power-hungry politicians only ends in one way, negatively. Cecile Richards states that there has been 9 congressional votes to cease reimbursing Planned Parenthood for the care provided to patients who depend on the public health programs. These cuts only serve as an example of how women and men are still not given the same opportunities and how the inequity of the pink tax finds its way into every space of our economy. The most substantial example of the pink tax is the gender-based price discrimination found among realtors. The gender discrimination is nothing new and can be found in most products such as disposable razor blades, hair products, toys, clothing, and many other products, and even services. An article by Kenneth Jacobson compared nearly identical products seen between men and women and found that 42% of the identical products They found that 42% of the time, women's products cost more than men's. A study conducted by the New York City Department of Consumer Affairs and reported by Sarah Kaufman found that on average, women's products cost 7% more than similar products for a man. The problem becomes even more significant when you take into consideration that women still do not usually make as much as a man does. For retailers to purposefully mark women's products and services at a higher price is not okay, and something needs to change. However, due to legislation and loopholes, efforts to create equality have been met with resistance. These price gaps create significant burdens on women and even their families, yet nothing has been enacted on a federal level. However, Jacobson mentions how some states have attempted to provide meaningful solutions to the issue. For example, in 1955, California banned any gender-based charges unrelated to the actual cost of a service. And in 1998, in New York, they passed an ordinance regarding price discrimination in retail consumer services. Nonetheless, a few examples from decades ago do not help women in the 2020s. Many believe the simplest solution is to buy the men's version of female marked products, but that's not always an available option for some people. Women are not able to choose if they receive a haircut at a male's price. Women are not able to choose to dry clean their identical white button-up as a man's button-up. Businesses and retailers need to be given guidelines implemented to regulate the price gouging of goods and services. Life may not be fair, but for men to be able to walk into a health clinic and receive free contraceptives, whereas women have to jump through loopholes to receive any sort of benefits, is egregious. Avoiding the pink tax is not as simple as buying male products. In essence, equality for women has come a long way, but not far enough. The flat-out gender discrimination, as Jacobson calls it, is caused by pink tax is enough, and it is time for a reform. The pink tax needs to be obliterated. It has created a detrimental price gap between men and women's products, and it makes necessary products like tampons and birth control pricey and difficult to obtain. The inequity has gone on for far too long, and the greatest solution may simply be to raise awareness and to educate women on the matter. The more informed a person is, the more people that can band together for a change in legislation. During the 20th century, women rallied everywhere for their human rights to have a voice and to be able to vote on matters like this. 100 years later, in 2020, women still have a voice and must use it to break down the discrimination, no matter the color attached. Thank you.